we're just going to do more of a city walk tour today and do some of the other ruins that we didn't get to see yesterday. I think there's something called the Roman Agora and the Ancient Agora. There's also ruins of an old library. So we're just going to relax, take our time, and our flight to Santorini is at about 6 p.m. tonight. So we still have pretty much a full day to explore. We've stopped in at a local coffee shop right next door to our Airbnb. I got my cappuccino, and we are splitting an apple pie.
Before anyone judges too much about having apple pie for breakfast, that was the only option. Janella asked for a chocolate croissant. They didn't have it. It was more kind of a coffee and juice bar. So apple pie was our only option.
One tip that I wish I would have done before we got here was purchase the all-inclusive ticket to visit the Acropolis, Roman Agora, Hadrian's library, Ancient Agora. It had a plethora of other places that you could visit other than the Acropolis for only 10 euros more. By not purchasing that ticket, now every time we go to each individual place, we're gonna have to pay about 8 euros. Obviously, it would have made sense to buy the full package.
Stop number one today is the Ancient Agora, which is just kind of the gathering place way back in the olden days. It's where everyone kind of got together and just chit-chatted. Rick Steves has another audio guide that we've downloaded, so hopefully we'll get some more good information there. This building was built in the 1950s by the American School of Classical Studies as a pretty real replica of what the original one looked like.
This building is called the Stoa, and it was used kind of like a mall. All the shops would be on the first floor, and the roof would protect you from the blazing hot sun that we are currently experiencing. And the second floor would be the offices, which currently is part of the university that helped fund the restoration of this building.
One really interesting thing we just learned from Rick Steves is that these columns are obviously smooth down here, and then they get rough or rigid up above. And that was to encourage people to lean on them. So this was a big shopping mall area, and people don't want to be leaning on kind of this rough ribbed column, and so they smoothed everything out so people could just relax. Pretty smart, I would say. Democracy from about 336 BC, and it is basically a law against tyranny. You have Lady Democracy crowning a man, and that's supposed to represent the people's choice, how democracy kind of works. great philosopher, used to teach here in the Agora, and he used to kind of teach the youth to know thyself. That was one of his big teaching points. And the government did not like that very much, so they arrested Socrates and threw him in jail for corrupting the youth. Beyond just Socrates teaching here, his disciple Plato and Plato's disciple Aristotle both taught here as well. So we're basically walking the same path in the same area that some of the greatest minds to ever live walked. It's really kind of crazy and surreal.
We are currently walking on the Panathenaic Way. This used to be the main street that cut through the Agora, and once a year there was a parade to honor Athena, and you would walk from the start of the Agora all the way up to the Acropolis where we were yesterday, and there was a ceremonial presentation of a robe to Athena every single year that they presented her at the top of the Acropolis.
Just behind us here is Hadrian's library. I don't know much about it, and it's really just a bunch of ruins. It costs €6 a piece to get into, but you can pretty much see the whole thing from outside these gates. Considering we just spent about 2 hours in some ruins at the Agora, we think we're gonna pass on Hadrian's library and head to our next stop, which might be the Temple of Zeus.
We have now reached our second destination, the Temple of Zeus. As you can see behind me, there are only 16 columns left standing. When this temple was originally built, each side had 2 rows of 20 columns, and each end had 3 rows of 8 columns. This temple was used to honor the god Zeus. And over in the far northwest corner, there is an arch built for Hadrian, and there was kind of a fight about who really was the god of the city. Was it Hadrian or was it Zeus? And inscribed in the archway read, "This is the city of Zeus." And in the same archway in another area said, "This is not the city of Zeus. This is the city of Hadrian."
And I think that is the last site that we're actually going to see. It's about 11:30 right now. We need to leave for the airport about 2:45 or so. We're gonna go grab some lunch. We're gonna head back to the Airbnb, shower, clean up, and then pack. And then catch the metro back to the airport, headed to Santorini.
Welcome to our little villa. I don't even know what to call it. It's a mini apartment in Santorini. Here is the bedroom.
Here's the bathroom. Small.
Can you fit in there?
Honestly, the shower is better than we had in Corfu, so that's fine.
Now this is why I booked this place. We are staying in Ia, where some of the best sunsets are seen. And so we have a balcony. Are you ready?
Look at this view, right on the water.
Across the way is the volcano. On either side, we just have white houses with hot tubs. How can it get any better than this? Side note, tomorrow is my birthday, so slightly why we booked this place as well. So tonight is my last day as a 27-year-old.
You picked a pretty good spot to end it.
Tomorrow we will definitely get the sunset. The sunset's at around 8 o'clock exactly, and we did not arrive into Ia until slightly after that, so tomorrow. I think we are going to stop the video here for tonight, and I will see you on my 28th birthday tomorrow.